And following that wonderful, heart-filled, illuminating channel from Kryon, I invite you to bring your awareness back into your body. And if you've had your eyes closed, I invite you to open your eyes as we move to the next part of the program, where we have an extraordinary guest who is skilled in both animal communication and getting to the crux of probably what causes animals those issues are the humans, right? So her name is Sabine Paterier, and she is Zooming to us from Dubai. So I want to make sure she's on the Zoom feed with us. Sabine, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hello, everyone.
Welcome, Sabine. And I can't wait to hear of all the things that have happened to you. But before we get to that conversation, I want our audience to know who we're talking to.
You can probably already tell by listening to her voice. Sabine was born and raised, well, not here where I am, but in Belgium. And she is bilingual in English and French. Through video calls and in-person sessions, Sabine has awakened countless people worldwide, breaking them free from harmful behavioral patterns and limiting beliefs. Boy, that's just exactly the kind of guest we want right here. With her enchanting mastery and mentorship wizardry, Sabine has sparked the rebirth and cosmic realignment of countless souls weaving her magic. As a multidimensional healer, now did you hear that, folks? Kryon talks about multidimensional healers all the time, and she is one. She specializes in healing complex issues like PTSD, inhibition, sexual dysfunction. Her postgraduate studies in transpersonal regression therapy at Tasso Institute in Holland have equipped her with the knowledge to help you on your healing journey.
So this is my favorite part, is that among other things, she's a natural animal communicator and gifted intuitive. She actually started communicating telepathically with beings like animals and more at the age of 7 years old. And that's why we say it's completely natural for her to be communicating with animals. By the end of 2018, however, she'd been naturally attuned to light language after she met her first galactic and angel beings. Some of them became her new spiritual guides, and now they're working together as a team. So she's received training from shamans, doctors, healers, and practitioners worldwide. She has developed her own unique way of helping people break free. Her mission is to show you how to tap into your magic to enhance the quality of your life's passions, purpose, and overall synchronicity. So Sabine, welcome to the program. Talk us through how you began with animals and then moved to humans.
Thank you for receiving me. It's really a great pleasure. First of all, I wanted to mention that I'm really honored to be here with you. Oh, how start? Okay. Around 6-7 years old, I had some issue with my mom. When my parents divorced, I was 5. Then, you know, the story of a child with a different parent. I had a fight with my mom and I left house. We were living in a village. Then I was often going to the farm to see animals and everything. And that's how it started. I was crying, complaining about my life, you know, children. Nobody loved me, blah, blah, blah. And I was sitting with a tree on my back. And I would never forget, I felt a presence. And, you know, I was crying and nobody loved me and la, 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 la. When I turned my head, I saw a cow, but I could hear the cow in my head saying, I'm here, I love you, I'm here. And when I looked back, I was sure, I don't know how to explain, and I never knew how to say it, but I could hear her in my head. Then, very proud of me, I went back home. You know, I finished to cry and mama, la la la. You know, the cow is speaking, etc. Oh my God, I think that was the end of the beginning. I don't know how to say, but that day was the end because at that time, she didn't believe in that. Nobody was
Yes.
believing in this. And
Yeah.
she looked at me like, cow are not speaking. Animal are not speaking. It's impossible that animal are speaking. Now you stop this. And if you continue, you will be punished because people will laugh at you. No. Finished. End of story. And I was like, okay. But then it continued. It was a horse. It was my dog. And I was saying again, but she went very, very bad in a way that she became very, very upset at me saying, you stop that now. Then I started to repress that for many, many years. Until one day I was around 18 years old. A friend of mine, at this time, spiritism, speaking with spirit, mediumship, and all that stuff was like fashion, but bit famous in my town. And they had a spiritism center. I don't know if I pronounce well in English. In French, we said spirit center. And my friend took a pictures of her grandmother, and I was curious. I went there. And that's when a medium addressed to me, but I didn't put the pictures. Then I said, I have nothing to do with this. I'm just coming to see, I don't want to participate. I was really like, wow, keep me away. And one medium on the podium said, no, you there. And I'm like, oh, I didn't put the pictures. She said, I know, but there has someone behind you. And we started. But she started in so much detail, telling me what was happening when I was between 6, 7 years old, and especially at 7 when my grandfather died, and that he was near to my bed every night. I could see him. Nobody knew that because it was a shame for me, to say at that time. Then she touched a point where I was like, oh, okay. And she went deeper, saying, Sabine, you have a gift. You are like us. And we give course here. We can help you to develop. And in 6 months, you will be with us on the podium. And I was like, forget, I didn't really grasp it. I believed in it because I was very intuitive. When my friend had pain, I remember one day she had a pain on her shoulder and I did that. And she said, oh, I'm feeling better. And I was like, oh, it's working. But it was normal somehow. I didn't question. But that day was really the turning point. She took me apart after the public session and she said, please, I would like you to come. We give course, etc., etc. And I said, okay. And effectively, 6 months later, I was with them on the podium. And that's how it started. But at that moment, 15 years old, I was still young. Then I got my daughter and I started my career. Then I was a bit here, a bit in my career, a bit coming here. And then I was leaving for 1 year, coming back until I completely left everything for a while. Embracing my career totally in finance, being divorced, moving in Luxembourg. And again, I had a relationship with spirituality, let's say this way, where it was like, I love you, I hate you. I love you, I hate you, because I was there 5 years living, 1 year living. And I was somehow deep inside me, I can say that today because I have much more awareness. I was rejecting that because I was scared. And at the same time, because my mom said, okay, animal don't speak, I completely shut down. But shutting down to the point that even when people were trying to help me, I was still like, yes, but no, just a little bit, but not too much. And always it has been like this, back, forwards, until in Luxembourg, I met other people who were interested by spirituality. And we had periods where every week or every month, depending who is free to go, we were going back to my own town and they were doing private session for spirit who wants to correct themselves. Let's say, I don't know the word in English. I will try to translate directly from French. It's spirit who have committed atrocity. For example, they have killed someone or they have done torture during the war, stuff like that, and they still feel stuck. We were doing a group like this. You had one healer, one medium, one healer, one medium, and a big table. And we were calling spirit to help them to find their way. Since that time, we found better technique. Was still the old style. Now I would say it's going like this. When a soul is lost, we don't need to bring such a number of people like before. But that's when I started slowly to reconciliate myself with the spirituality and really continuing my career, but still staying connected with that. Then time is passing, and I moved to Dubai in 2011 for a career again in finance. And I was like, Dubai will be different. It's not like Luxembourg, that's not the same thing, blah, blah, blah. It's exactly the same. But I was not awakened. It's exactly the same.
Oh, boy.
So I think I can relate to your story, Sabine. With my own journey, I had resistance and then I had to surrender. And then it's the resistance and then surrender. And what was it for you that really allowed you to not just surrender, but open your heart, where you're now stepping into the world where you have spirit with you 24/7 and life just becomes magical?
Yeah. It started after I lost my job here in Dubai. They told me when I lost the first job. Remember, this was very funny. I took my pictures like this, like it's someone else's pictures. I'm like, please tell me what will happen, blah, blah, blah. And it was clear. You will always have food on the table, but now you need to change direction. You need to embrace your calling. And they started to explain why I see spirit since the age of 7, why I communicate with animal, etc., etc. And they said, we were preparing you, and now it's time. And I was like, no way. No way. I was earning a lot of money in finance, I was like, no. I was afraid because for me, a healer was like my old belief, and I had to do tremendous work on myself to be able to change and to become who I am today and earn money with what I do, and accept also that it's normal to earn money by doing that type of work with people, because I had that limiting belief that a healer must work for free. It's just spare time. It's not profession. You cannot have a job with that. Then I struggled financially for years and years and years. Even I was trying to go back in finance. They were taking me out all the time. And they said, the door is closed. Don't try anymore. But I didn't listen. My ego was like triple than my size, if you get what I mean. I was the pure finance manager, like, this is, Madame Irma bullshit. And I took a big slap, for sure. The biggest slap in my life, where, where every people speak about the ego death. But that's painful. But that was the best things that could happen to me. It's killing my ego completely by touching the rock bottom. And I learned how to become really humble and to open my heart and to surrender to them.
I think that had to happen before you. I think that had to happen before you could ever step in front of anybody and do transpersonal regression. And you are. Would you tell us a little bit more about transpersonal regression therapy?
Yeah. Transpersonal regression therapy, for me, it's an amazing modality. I learned many things. I learned shamanism, reconnective healing, theta healing, hypnosis, magnetism. I cannot name it. They have a long list. But transpersonal regression is something that really worked on me because I still had a high ego when I started that. I was very stubborn. I'm still stubborn, but better now. And hypnosis, when the students were training on me, I was falling asleep. Sorry for that, but that's a reality. I didn't attach myself to this, didn't work for me. And any other modalities were good, but not enough. I felt it's not deep enough. Then when I discovered transpersonal regression, the teacher asked me, say, are you ready for this? Because we will go deep, obsessed sorrow, lost soul. And he didn't mention galactic, but he said life where you was not human. And I'm like, okay, yes, I'm ready. Let's go. And I've done that course first to heal myself. And I was always the demo in a class. I was pushing everyone to be on the sofa and to be the demo and having the teacher working on me because people didn't want to share their private life. But I was at the point like, I'm fed up. I want to heal and I need to go deep, deep, deep. That course itself healed me on a deep level because I was carrying what we call obsessor from my father, from my mother, from my past life too, because, you don't become a healer with an open heart and full of light um, without acknowledging your own shadow. And we all have done stuff that were not always love and light, and we have to embrace that. And that was my entry point where I had to embrace all of this and being able to balance myself. After finishing the course, I was not sure that I could do that on people, but it worked so well on myself. And I was practicing with a friend of mine all the time that I still practice today with her. I was like, let me try. And people felt a tremendous difference. I felt it was deeper than anything else I've tried before. And this is why up to now, I still do transpersonal regression therapy. It's a modality that helps you to go deep into the root of the issue. Let's say, today you have an issue. It's not from yesterday. It can come from the womb of your mother, can come when you was a child. It can be linked to a past life, can be linked to ancestral lineage. Then we can go really deep with the technique, yes.
What's one of the more stand-out client sessions that you had with this that kind of surprised you?
Oh, I had many. Yes. I'm trying to find one where... Oh, okay. One session that really surprised me was a session where a client came and she discovered that her father was really abusive, violent in words, physical, everything. Had, of course, a life very dysfunctional with his own mother. But she told me mainly that her own grandmother was doing witchcraft, black magic, stuff like that. And at the beginning of the session, I was like, okay, let's see where we will go during the session. And we discovered that the father of my client was incapable of love because his own mother didn't love him. And when she said that, I started to dig deeper, trying to discover why his own mother was incapable to love him. And we discovered that they were enemy in a life before. And she had to come back as his mother and him as her son, because they were the worst enemy before, and that was the best way to balance their karma and finally learn how to love each other's, which was for me an amazing session because it changed the life of my client. Just by doing this session and discovering who was really her grandmother, who was really her own father, who was abusive. And she was still scared about her father. She was still very resentful. And this is why she wanted to do the session. After that session, knowing what happened to her father, knowing all the story, it changed her completely. Resentment disappeared like that. We didn't have to work on, because he just acknowledged and understood that it was just a man who suffered a lot and was completely scattered, full of obsessor, of course, full of entities, of course, that we also cleared during the session. But imagine only one session for my client changed the perception he had about her own father. And I'm saying that because I had also a very difficult relationship with my father. He disappeared 25 years from my life, 5 years here, 4 years there. But then for a little girl was not easy. Then when I have session like that with client, I know the situation. I know how it feels like to have a father who is really dysfunctional, because mine was dysfunctional and violent too with my mother. Then it's also bringing you, I would say, deeper into the session with your client, and you feel like, wow, I've achieved something. Yes, the client has achieved something, but you too. And that's when my heart is really filled like, I speak about this and I feel the emotion like, wow, that was amazing. This was really a session that, yeah, even changed me somehow, because I was like, look, there are many people that you can help because you know how to
Absolutely.
navigate, you know where to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, so if anyone's interested in following up more of Sabine and even having an individual session with her online, go and have a look at her website. It's sabinetherapies.com. And we're almost at the end of the time, but I can't leave without asking for a special memory you have of one of your animal sessions.
Yes. A very good memory I have, and she will recognize herself. Because we developed also a relationship, me and that client, and the host too, after that story. She had 3 horses, but one had a navicular disease. Now he is dead, not from the navicular disease at all. He had an accident, and I met that horse when he was at the stage where he could not walk anymore. He was staying in the stable all day. And navicular disease is something really difficult to treat. Many vets said we need to put him on sleep. It was a horse who was doing racing before. And, after the racing, they don't serve anymore, then they go for meat, or they can be rescued by people like my client. And I started to work on that horse until the point finally he could walk and he could take someone on him, and he started to move on. And she moved him from one stable to another. And she sent me the video, and this touched me so much, because when he went out of the truck, he was going down, it was like this. And I've met that horse like that, really like that, totally depressed. But when he arrived into the new stable, he was walking, he felt normal again. And I could feel the proud when she sent the video. And this was like, wow, big change. Because we know navicular disease, they choose to put them on sleep. Then I continued to work on him, but less. And she got the second horse that was coming from a school, not well treated, etc. That horse has the heart, I would say, closed, which is not normally happening with an animal. But we know that every animal is taking the energy of the human and the surrounding. That horse was working with a school, riding school. And when I met, it was a mare, female. When I met her, when I placed my hand here, I felt really compelled to do this. I said to my client, oh my God, it's like closed. And we reopened her heart. But when this has been done, she is the one who was helping emotionally the other horse who had the navicular disease. I don't say name on purpose. Of course, you will understand. It's normal to protect also them and my client. And we realized that they started to communicate together, and she was serving as a support for him. Then even that horse started to be much more happy. His personality changed completely. He became sweet, because that horse, when I was doing healing on him, she had to keep him like that because he was trying to bite me and doing stuff. Anyway, long story short. And he was carrying on him a certain form of anger, but this was coming from the previous owner. And I remember from that moment, everything started to shift. He took a third horse, but that third horse had also problem with colics. And when a horse has colic, is also something very deep, either a surgery or put on sleep again, etc. 3 sessions, finished. She helped also because that client is my first client who really understood the concept of an animal absorbing your energy. She started to work on herself and she looked at me. She says, Sabine, I've seen my 2 horses changing tremendously. Can you do the same for me? I'm like, yeah, of course. With her, I didn't do transpersonal regression, it was mainly energy healing. And she changed. She changed her relationship with her horses, changed too. And that's what was amazing. And that's, I would love also that happen for everyone in the world because I still have many clients who are contacting me and saying, oh, can you fix my cat? Can you fix my dog? Can you fix this, and that? But they don't fix themselves. And they don't understand that, yes, the cat will be good for 1, 2, 3 months, 6 months maybe, but then it will come back or something else will come back. And I have even clients telling me, Sabine, you helped my cat this was better, but now it's starting again. How come? I'm like, sorry, but I told you. And now I record every session because, not everyone is on the same scale in terms of awareness. Some people are not yet awakened. Even if they want to help the animal, they are not awakened to the point of this client who said, oh, wow, can you do it on me? And I want to change. I want to help my 3 horses, And now I'm recording the session because I've noticed when you record the session also, it's helping people to remember what they didn't want to hear during the session.
Thank you. Thank
I've
you
been like that for a long time.
I love that. That is
I will
wonderful.
send you.
Oh, that's great.
Wow, that was so fascinating.
Excellent. Wonderful. I want to hear what you might say as a final word for our listeners before we go.
What I would like to say to each and every one is work on yourself, never stop. Because I hear every day people telling me, oh my God, I spend this amount of money with many healers, many therapies, and I'm still there. And how many sessions do I need? And I'm like, I don't know, because your past life is not mine. Your childhood is not mine. The luggage you have on you are not the same luggage as mine. And I cannot say in advance because we work by layers. But I want to say to each and everyone, open your heart and understand that healing is not a destination. It's a journey, including for your animal. And I think it's time for each and everyone also to develop telepathy. I'm not saying come to follow my animal communication course. It's not what I mean. You can learn animal communication by yourself if you open your heart and you start to do meditation. But it's time, it's really time to communicate more because they are here to help. Cats, dogs, they clear the energy. They have now scientific studies saying that a cat is capable to repair muscle just by purring. We know that horses have this power with autistic child to help to calm down. Same for the dolphin, but many people say, oh yeah, we heard this in the newspaper, but done. They don't embrace it. And I want to say, just embrace now. Start to open your heart much more. Serve animal because they are the best teacher, really. If you are capable to look at them with broadcast, let's say, vision, you will start to understand that they are here to teach us unconditional love, patience, and many more things. Yeah, that's my final words.
Couldn't agree with you more. Thank you again, Sabine. Thank you.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Okay, so we're going to take a short break and then we'll see you all back here for the Circle of